WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys, and I do have some very, very interesting and rare exotic whiskeys today. Stranahan's, 4 different products of the core range. They have more in their core range, but those are the 4 that I have at the moment. Here we have the original. If you've ever had this nice little jigger on top, it actually has a screw cap, and so you can't pull it off, you have to unscrew it. This runs about in America roundabout, let me take a look at my thing here, roundabout $58. Over here, let's pour while we talk, alright? So we have here 47%. So this is, according to Stranahan's, the most sold single malt Americas. Did not know that. Over here we have a fairly recent addition to Stranahan's. They are Blue Peak. Oh, by the way, this is made from 5, 6, 7, and 8-year-old whiskeys. This is their Blue Peak, named after a 13,000-foot mountain close by to Denver, Colorado. 43%. We're talking about $42. I think that's amazing. All right, that's a good price point for that, what they're doing. 4-year-old whiskey. So over here, get rid of that jigger as well, we have the 10-year-old. Now, the 10-year-old Mountain Angel, 2023 release, single malt with 45.1% ABV. I basically paid about $124 for this, and then I had to bring it over here to Germany, and that was another $28 for the sending it over in a package with 7 other bottles, and I paid $25 on excise tax to get it into Germany. So I go up to a total from $124 all the way up to $177 to get a 10-year-old single malt here. Why did I buy it? Well, because it's the first 10-year-old single malt in the history of the U.S. And I was like, hey, this is history. This is breakthrough technology. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but that was something I was like, I'm willing to buy it, do a bottle share, and I'm happy I bought it. And then what was very, very interesting is I got this bottle. It's so new, it doesn't even have whiskey base number. The 12-year-old Mountain Angel, Colorado, single malt, port wine cask finish with 47.3%. I had to pay $199 over in Germany to buy this bottle. Now, I think in the States it's going to run you about 140 something, but of course I have to pay more because I have to go for secondary prices over here. Now, these 2 bottles I did buy in the States and brought them over to Germany. These 2 bottles, I bought this and sent it to myself from a shop in the U.S. and this I had through Miss Canada, which is a lady who brings over fairly exclusive products that we don't have on the market here, and I get access to things I otherwise would not be able to ever see in my life. Alright, so let's go over here really briefly to the story of Stranahan's. We have to go back to the year 1998. There was a firefighter named Jesse Graber, in German Graber. Graber, he responded to a neighbor's barn fire. Now, they were in Woody Creek, and the local whose barn was burning down, his name was George Stranahan. He was a longtime brewery owner, and he was a whiskey connoisseur. Now, after the fire settled, the 2 of them discovered a shared passion here for the Colorado outdoors and a good pour of fine whiskey. And this relationship developed, and they actually developed a recipe for a distinctively smooth and flavorful American single malt whiskey using their local mountain surroundings to their advantage, and released the first original bottle in 2006. So almost 20 years ago, 19 years ago. The distillery was founded 2024. So Cedar Ridge just celebrated their 20th anniversary in Iowa. Colorado, Stranahan's, they just celebrated their 21st anniversary. And that was the first the first Colorado single malt ever produced. And ever since then, Stranahan's been the leader in actually having the category of single malt, American single malt, being defined and established. Well done, gentlemen and guys and girls there. All right, that's a tiny little bit of the history here. Let's go over here to our bottle of original. So Stranahan is not available in Europe yet. Dear Stranahans, if you're looking for a distributor for your products, N10 Bourbons has now we're working on European distribution. It's definitely UK, it's definitely here, Germany and other countries as well. Maybe we could be a good partner for you, who knows? This is made from 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9-year-old barrels, non-chilled filtered, 47%. So on the nose, I get a lot of oak. I get a little bit of leather. I get some grain moments. Over here, the Blue Peak. This is made with 4-year-old whiskey. Number 3 Char New American Oak barrels. And the Solera finish is what they use here to give it a little bit. For me, Solera would be different casks, maybe even a little bit of sherry influence that is used there. Okay, I like the nose a lot. The nose, if you took a 12-year-old Scotch and did a head-to-head with this, I think the Stranahan would come out first, ahead. The 10-year-old, as I said, the first time we've ever had a 10-year-old. A lot more depth here. A lot more of a crème brûlée, a lot more of leather, a little bit of tobacco leaves. This is an annual release, so they've been doing this now for about 4 years. I have batch number 4, by the way, with 45.1% ABV. And last but not least is the 12-year-old. This is also a batch limited release coming out annually once a year, and I have batch number 1, and this is number 1. Full 12 years, and then finished in port casks from Portugal. The angel share was over 80%. So if you have 200-liter cask, 53 gallons, 40 liters are left. That's like 11 gallons from 53. 80% evaporated. Was stolen by the angels. All right, so kind of weird, kind of crazy, kind of cool. All right, so this is, I'm not good at the math at the moment. This is 47.3%, as I said. All right, good. All right, let's do this. Stranahan's original. Cheers. A little bit more wood than I was expecting. Grain, leather. A little bit more leather, a little bit more wood, and a tiny little bit of a touch of raspberry. Now, they do have their own little tasting notes here, and I would be ashamed to not tell you about them. They say here, on the nose, caramel, butterscotch, vanilla, maple syrup, and leather. On the palate, they say cinnamon butter, vanilla, chocolate, warm caramel, and spiced pear. Flows over the tongue like table cream and melted brown sugar, finishing with a hint of cayenne, rich tobacco, oak, and aged leather. And the finish is a light fruitiness and strong oak presence with rich tobacco and aged leathers moments. All right, yeah, good, but my personal favorite at the moment is the Blue Peak. You can put this up against any 12-year-old single malt Scotch, and I really think this would win. Now, if you take a Edredauer 12, or you take a Glendronach 12, these sherry bombs, well, if you love sherry, that's going to win. But if you have like a Dalvini 15-year-old or something else, this I actually think is much, much better. So on the nose you have dried apricots, nutmeg, cinnamon toast, hints of leather and light tobacco, creamy butterscotch on the palate with brown sugar, baked apples with notes of cayenne and toasted oak. I don't really get cayenne here. And on the finish, it's rich and mellow, earthy malt gently fades into lingering spices. This, I think, is the value for money winner. This has a taste of a C to C plus, value for money. At 60 some dollars, this is going to be more or less for me a C to C minus. This is actually a B minus to C plus, value for money, $42. C plus, maybe even B minus. I really, really like this. This surprised me pleasantly. The 10-year-old over here, we now have Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. It's definitely wood forward. But there's a little bit of like a crème brûlée moment. There's a lot of oak spice, but it's not overdone. That is the perfect balance. Now, I have no idea. I know with a normal bourbon, you would say like 12-year-old, and so after 12-year-old, it's over oaked. Apparently, at Stranahan's, 10 might be the pinnacle, and we'll see in a moment with the 12-year-old, that is over oaked for me. Very, very nice. This is also C plus, B minus. Value for money, $100+ too much for me. D. I know it's once in a year, it's limited, it's difficult to make, it's difficult to find. I understand that, but would I be willing to pay that much money for this? No. But I can get at least 2 bottles of that instead. All right, let's go over to the 12-year-old. Even on the nose, it just seems to be denser. A lot of oak, and I don't get much of the port. Stranahan's, we geeks like to know how long the finish was. Is this a 1-week finish, a 1-month finish, a 1-year finish, 6 months? Just write it down. That'd be great. Could not find any information about that online on your website or on the bottle or on the tin here. They do say on the nose I should have flavors of or aromas of caramelized nectarines, fig paste, never had that before, and lavender. Never had lavender in my whiskey before. Is that actually what we want? I don't know. There's just too much wood spice for me. I'm not a big fan of Garrison Brothers, for example. Garrison Brothers has this exact same problem, I have the feeling, that there's just too much wood spice going on there. This has also a lot of wood spice. Would I be willing to pay another €100+ for this, or $100+ for this? Actually, I don't think so. What I didn't do in my German video, I'd like to do in my English video, is just add a little bit of water to this and see if it actually helps. Flavor should be blueberry compote, ginger lemon tart, raspberry cheesecake, and a blackberry strudel. The person that wrote the tasting notes here wanted dessert. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? And the finish, there's juicy. I don't know if that's really a tasting note or not. Vanilla wafers, mature oak, and Madura cigar wrapper. Don't know how that's that, but there is a certain tobacco leaf moment going on here. Astringency is still there. The oakiness is still there. The port isn't really there. As much as I would like to have a port finish. A lot of wood, too much wood. Personal opinion. All right, flavor profile. This is actually C minus. Value for money, D minus. Sorry. I know, I understand the uniqueness. If I go for uniqueness, this is, I think, the first 12-year-old single malt from the US ever. This was the first 10-year-old single malt from the US ever. Uniqueness, A. These bottles are stories of the history of American single malt whiskey. Thank you, Stranahan. But it doesn't mean I'm going to love them. I do like this. I really like this. This is okay. And this is just a little bit overdone. My question of the day is, what is your favorite American single malt? Is it maybe a Balcones? Is it maybe a Jack Daniel's single malt? Is it a Yellowstone? Is it Stranahan's? Is it a Bullet? There are so many single malts out there. According to one report I read, there's actually over 300 different distilleries in the U.S. at the moment making some, not exclusively, but some single malt. Crazy. And my last question for Stranahan's is, have you thought about using casks again? Reused casks? So imagine you would use here for your original, put that in New American Oak Charred number 3. That after 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, that barrel's emptied. And then you put single malt in there and you age that for 10 years. You age that for 12 years. You age that for 15 or 18 years. Does it have to be New American Virgin Oak Charred? I think that actually, a 10-year-old, that was the best. And it goes downhill from there so far. Why don't we think about using casks more than once in the single malt industry, so the malt shines and not the cask dominates? All right, my question of the day was, what is your favorite single malt from the US? Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing. Have you had the chance to go to Stranahan's and visit the distilleries? If I'm ever in Denver, Colorado, that might actually be the first distillery I want to go to. Breckenridge I want to go to. There's a couple other distilleries close by I'd like to go to. There's a good distilling community in Colorado. There's a good brewing community in Colorado. 291 and everything else that's there. That's something I'm really looking forward to seeing one day if I ever make it there. Thank you. All the best. See you real soon. Bye-bye.